Welcome back to the Code 1098 True Crime Podcast. Thanks for tuning in. This week we are talking about a cold case from Antigua, Wisconsin. Kayla Berg had recently moved to Antigua, Wisconsin from Texas with her mother. It's been said that Kayla's father had been diagnosed with cancer, and they thought of the move from Texas to be a fresh start for Kayla and her mother. On August 11, 2009, around 9 p.m., was the last time 15-year-old Kayla Berg was seen. Kayla was reported missing 6 days later on August 17, 2009. During the evening on August 11, 2009, Kayla was picked up from her father's house by a boy named Kevin. The next day, Kevin tells Kayla's father that he took her to another friend's house after they hung out. A few days later, Kevin tells Kayla's mother that he dropped Kayla off at the home of her ex-boyfriend in Wausau. The drive from Antigua to Wausau, Wisconsin takes approximately 40 minutes and is about 34 miles in distance. It turned out that the building she was allegedly dropped off at was actually a vacant home. Her ex-boyfriend had moved out of that home sometime beforehand and had moved to a new home approximately a mile away. Kayla had been to his new home just a week before she disappeared. Her ex-boyfriend told Kayla's mother that he hadn't seen her that night. Police rule out her ex-boyfriend's involvement in the case. Kevin remains adamant that he dropped her off at the address of the vacant home around 10:30 p.m. that night, and he then returned to his parents' house about an hour away. Kayla's case was initially treated as a runaway situation. A few days after she was reported missing, they changed the investigation to an endangered missing child case. The police haven't found any conclusive evidence that suggests Kayla was murdered. Any speculation of her being a runaway was ruled out. Kayla seemed to just vanish without a trace. About a month after her disappearance, police began to believe that her friends were withholding information about her whereabouts. In October 2009, police charged Kevin with reckless endangerment, as he was the last one who gave Kayla a ride from Antigua to Wausau. Police had hoped people would talk to them and provide additional information out of fear of being charged as well. Kevin and Miguel's cars were forensically searched and yielded no new evidence. A search using cadaver dog made a hit in Kevin's car that was used in a vehicle lineup. In 2010, another search was conducted over areas of interest with the help of the National Guard. Both wooded areas and fields were searched by law enforcement and cadaver dogs. The dogs hit twice while searching. One area at Kevin's parents' property, which is where he claimed to have went after dropping Kayla off at the vacant house, and the other was a potato farm where Kevin had worked. It wasn't enough to prove it had anything to do with Kayla's case. Eventually, 2 years later, prosecutors would dismiss the charge against Kevin, citing a lack of probable cause. Based on the tireless efforts of Kayla's family, her case has gained national attention a few times over the years since her disappearance. In May of 2011, police announced that items of interest were found on Kevin's property. However, there was no indication that Kayla was there. The police have refused to disclose what items were found and have since refused open records requests for that information. Kayla has brown hair, brown eyes, a scar on her right shin, and a small chickenpox scar on her right cheek and on the right side of her nose. She has abdominal scars from surgery, and her appendix has been removed. Her navel is pierced and her ears are double pierced. She goes by the nickname KK. Today is Kayla's golden birthday. She would have been 29 years old. Police have stated that they continue to direct resources to this investigation, and it remains a priority to them. Many tips have been phoned in about Kayla's whereabouts over the years, but no additional evidence has ever been found. If you have any information, even if you think it is unimportant, contact the Antigua Police Department at 715-627-6411. Thank you for listening to Code 1098, giving you past, present, solved, and unsolved mysteries and murders. If you have suggestions for a case that you would like to see featured, feel free to message us or leave a suggestion in the comments. Thanks for tuning in today. Until next week.